What is up, everybody? Welcome to Crypto Espresso. Again, Jeb is out for today, so this is the TA10 video. So we're going to do this the way I want to do it. We're going to be talking about two projects that I think are going to be great trading opportunities in Link and Dot. However, I do not want you to use this video as your financial advice. I want you to do the work for yourself. I simply want to show you how to think, but I don't want to tell you what to think. With that being said, let's go ahead and dive right on into it. Taking a quick look at Link, you're going to see two different formations showing up here, and I want to show you the significance of both of them. First of all, we are in a symmetrical triangle pattern. What this means is we have an ascending level of support with a descending level of resistance. Now, because we came into this symmetrical triangle from a bullish formation, a lot of times we end up breaking bullish as well. But if you also look at this rising level of resistance, you're going to see that we're kind of in a rising trading channel. Both of these are bullish, but again, they give us different levels of resistance to look at to make predictions on where we think the tops of the different price actions will be. If we're looking at our oscillators, we go to the RSI, you're going to see a long time frame bullish RSI divergence. Right here and right here, we have a descending RSI level while we have a clear rising price level. This is a divergence. It's bullish. It's explaining why we're using this right here as our bounce point, this level of support, to rally back up. Our MACD is also rallying up. So to me, looking at those two things alone, I think that we're going to have some bullish movement over the next couple of weeks. But if we want to secure that, let's go look at two other indicators, the Bollinger Bands and the TD sequential, to even confirm this. The two things that I love I'm seeing here is, one, we bounced off the bottom of the Bollinger Bands and we're rallying back up towards that 20 daily SMA, and the TD sequential is nowhere near to a position that is telling us we need to revert back and go back down. So from the daily chart, Link is looking like a great buy right now that potentially over the next couple of weeks has a price increase potential of anywhere between 35 to 80% increase. That is a great trade and investment opportunity. Now, there is one thing on the 4-hourly chart that I think we should keep an eye on. Just because the next couple of days isn't as bullish as we would like to be, doesn't mean we shouldn't be investing in it, but I do want to give you all the levels of information that you need. If you're looking at the 4-hourly chart, we kind of have a different scenario going on. Starting with the TD sequential, you're going to see that we actually had a green 9 flash, or Jeb likes to call it a red 9 flash, meaning that at least according to TD sequential, we probably should see a reversal in the price action. You're also seeing that we're at the top of the Bollinger Bands. Not that that means we absolutely have to drop, but a lot of times those Bollinger Bands kind of knock us back and forth in between them. Not only do we have that on the Bollinger Bands and the TD sequential, but if we go to the RSI and the MACD, we're also seeing a little bit of a different story than we're seeing on the daily chart. And that is we are slightly beginning to form bearish RSI divergence. You do see the RSI is going up, or at best staying flat, whereas the price action is decreasing. This, again, is a bearish divergence, which kind of implies the price might need to go back down a little bit or at least move sideways. So Link looks like next couple of days, sideways or bearish, but next couple of weeks, very bullish and a great trade opportunity. That being said, let's go and examine what we might see on Dot. Dot is another project that I believe is in great position to be making an increase, and one that you should heavily look at for your trading opportunities. Let's start on the daily chart and examine what we see here. Again, we're going to have two different formations that I want you to look at, and I'm going to explain why. The first one, or the bigger one, you're going to see this blue level of rising support and this red level of rising resistance is showing that we are in a rising wedge. Now, rising wedges traditionally break bearish, but as you can see at this level right here, we're seeing a strong level of support right there, not only from this rising level of support, but we also have a descending level of support and a descending level of resistance forming a shorter time frame falling wedge. What happens with falling wedges? They usually break bullish. So these charts kind of conflict with each other, but we have to examine why we think one will happen. It doesn't mean down the road we won't have a bearish break, but instead of breaking bearish out of this rising wedge right here, I wonder if it's going to be closer to this area over here, or if we just disregard it altogether. The reasons why I think this falling wedge is more prominent is because you will see going on here that we have bullish RSI divergence. Why is that? We have a lower level of RSI but a rising price, again, bullish RSI divergence, kind of backs up why we think we're bouncing right here. We also on the MACD are seeing the histograms begin to shrink again, the red histograms, and we're probably within the next couple of days going to be seeing a bullish MACD cross. This looks awesome for DOT, and which is why I believe we have hit that bottom. We are about to rise. Great trade opportunity. Let's go down and look at the 4-hourly chart and see if it tells a different story. So going to our oscillators real quick, we are seeing that we have a consistently lowering of points with both price action, and we have lowering of points with our tops of our RSI, and I don't see anything developing saying necessarily that we have bullish RSI divergence. So at this point, what I'm looking at is the fact that we're hovering right around 50 on our RSI, which means we have some room to grow. On the MACD, it does seem like we're stalling, but it's a little bit of a lagging indicator, and in this case, might not give us a complete picture. What I do want to look at and to see is what are we doing with the Bollinger Bands and the TD sequential on this 4-hourly chart. Again, we're kind of sitting in the middle, and both of these are kind of telling a story that we might actually be at the very bottom of this and be ready to rally. Not only are we bouncing off of our 24-hourly SMA, we also only have a 1 green, which means there really isn't that much resistance pushing the market in either direction. So in that case, I'm going to kind of default to what I see happening on the daily chart. And on the daily chart, we didn't even check the Bollinger Bands and TD sequential, but over there, we're kind of seeing a similar story, although we're at the bottom of the Bollinger Bands and nothing consequential happening on TD sequential. So therefore, I am liking both of those levels. Just so you know, the level that we could potentially go if you were to invest right now into DOT over the next little bit before we hit our head on resistance, we could go as high as 85%. That's actually very similar to the better outcome of Link, but this one looks a little bit more likely. And if you scroll out, the reason why I like this trade so much is it seems like we've been kind of rallying this way over the last couple of months. We come down to the bottom, we go up to the top, we come down to the bottom, we go up to the top. I really love DOT. And so while the trades could be similar, I think in this case, what I'm looking at, if I only couldn't put money into one project and I had to choose between DOT and Link, I most likely would choose DOT, or I would at least split between the two of them. But that is for you to decide. I hope that all of this helps and that you make a lot of money from your trades and that you do amazing things with it. But that's all I got for you guys today. Jeb will be back tomorrow. Love getting to speak to you guys. Peace.
Hey, you made it to the end of the video. If you enjoyed this video, you should definitely consider subscribing because we're trying to help you become financially free in these cryptocurrency markets. And also, consider following us on Twitter @CryptoJeb for more updates on the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Peace.